It's her breaking the ice speech where she'll introduce herself to us. And here she comes. Do you want me to move the podium?
That's okay.
Okay.
We'll see actually how much it blocks. Maybe.
There we go. It's an easy change.
Okay. Good morning, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. I'm doing my introductory speech. Before I start, I want to clarify that I had a stroke and secondary Parkinson's. So I struggle with slurring of speech and rapid speech. It's called dystonia that I'm working on, and also PTSD, and contributes to all of that. So be kind, but I do need to know to learn to stop this. Retrain my brain. Okay. My name is DYSTONIA. I'm 32 years old. Who am I? The answer would have been easy to answer before June 7, 2011. Then my self-concept, my ego, was shattered. Before this date, I would have said I'm an occupational therapist. But this didn't define me. I just chose this job to help others. I would have been much more excited to tell you about my passion for the outdoors and outdoor activities. Biking, hiking, backpacking, kayaking, you name it. My main passion was caving. But I lived in Tennessee for 2 years, an area of the country with the world's highest number of caves. I had boasted about my 20-hour non-stop caving trip, my 300-foot rappels, and mapping caves that nobody else had ever stepped foot into. Then I would probably move on to tell you about my love of music, and finally my spirituality, which pales in comparison to the spirituality I have now. For you see, I was still plagued by insecurity, depression, and loneliness from my abusive childhood and growing up without friends, which shaped my adulthood. Tragedy followed me into adulthood. At 28, I suffered a year-long bout of hellish fatigue due to the virus called mononucleosis. This was followed by left ACL surgery due to left ACL, meniscal, and MCL tear, which was immediately followed by a death of a boyfriend due to lung cancer. I had enough. I was going to finally embark on my lifelong dream of traveling the world. I set off with just a backpack to Southeast Asia. 6 months into this glorious trip, I found myself in Banda Aceh, a non-touristic island of Sumatra, Indonesia. I went on a caving trip with the local Indonesian dive company. I don't remember this scuba diving trip, excuse me. I don't remember this dive, but what I do remember is 2 hours after dive, on the porch of my bungalow, being blinded by light, the most excruciating headache of my life, and falling. I was suffering a stroke. For 2 days, I was in and out of consciousness, without oxygen, even though I remember the second day hyperventilating. Miraculously, I survived this ordeal, only to suffer 2 years of hell, or this past 2 years of hell. It's a long story, but I ended up 6 months after stroke living in Ubud, Bali, a place with natural healing center. I thought I could heal. Initially, I could run, bounce on one foot for 40 seconds each, swim. I thought I was healing. But soon I was slowly developing symptoms of secondary Parkinson's. My writing was becoming smaller and smaller, called micrographia, so I could barely write my name today. My limbs, especially my legs, were slowing down, called bradykinesia, to the point where I could no longer swim a few months later, and my balance was decreasing. You see, in primary Parkinson's, a part of the brain that produces dopamine slowly dies due to genetics. In my case, secondary to brain damage, it died. Both of the dopamine receptors on both sides of my brain died. When I returned to the US in December 2012, within a week I ended up on a walker. I started freezing and falling like a statue. But because of all these falls and coupled with homelessness, loss of friends and family, no medical help, I eventually developed what's called dystonia. Dystonia is a neurological condition that's progressive that causes the twisting of body part, in my case my feet. Today I cannot even stand on both feet at all. It's just progressed over the last year. I can no longer do any of the activities I thought defined me. I can no longer escape to outdoor activities or travels. But these activities gave me a strength of determination to go on despite the ongoing continual decline and no medical interventions that have helped yet. Reaching lowest of lows, I've learned to love myself and God more than ever before. My goals are now not about outdoor adventures or activities. They are to become a transformational life coach to help others and to reconnect with nature in some ways, even though it seems so far to reach because I can no longer drive to the mountains and with my backpacking gear. Who am I? I'm not my body, for it is very fragile and can be taken away. Even my mind is fragile. Who I am is a loving, beautiful, strong, determined, spiritual woman. Thank you very much.